Good day all, welcome back to a wet South Africa, and this is South African Prepper. So my previous video I posted a recording of a British channel that is reporting on farm murders in South Africa. So to understand this and to understand and give you a bit of a clearer view of who the white South Africans are, we need to go back into history a little bit, and I do apologize all of the history buffins or the history professors. We're gonna do a short summary because to go into a full history lesson will take hours and hours. So during the 1899 to 1903, the Boers went into what they called the Second Boer War. And in essence, what happened was that the settlers from Cape Town, which were in the beginning Dutch, and then the French Huguenots joined as well, and they sort of formed a new culture called the Boers or the Afrikaners. And they basically colonized the Cape Colony, and then as it grew, obviously this colony expanded, and then the British came in the 1700s, and they actually conquered, or they actually took the Cape Colony by force. Not a very big force, but they literally annexed the Cape Colony from these farming settlers. And these farming settlers were there because Jan van Riebeeck and his shipping company wanted to have a refreshing station. So a station where ships could stop and get fresh produce and fresh water, obviously on the route to India. So these farmers, these Boers, decided that they've already run away from Europe because they would like some freedom. And then the English came, and they again for the second time packed up, and that's where they pioneered and they opened up Southern Africa, the wilderness of Southern Africa. And while the white farmers went up into South Africa, you had the Bantu tribes, the black people, coming down from Central Africa. So it was they were moving towards each other. So there's a big myth in South Africa that the blacks were here first. Unfortunately, that's not the truth. But that's not what this video is about. In order for, well, when the farmers moved up, they basically declared two countries. The central part of South Africa, which was the Orange Free State, and then the northern parts, which were called the Transvaal. So these were two Boer republics, okay, that they claimed for themselves. And then in the 1899 Second Boer War, the British wanted these two countries. These were sovereign countries, not under the British flag. And they wanted these two countries because they discovered diamonds and gold. Right, so for the second time now, the poor Boers, okay, are being chased around by the British. The only difference this stage is, for this war, is that the Boer people actually decided to fight back, okay, and this war raged on for about 3 years, 3.5 years, and the British Empire, and you see, this is now, you see, white South Africans do have a relatively big problem with the British because of history. Now, not so much the British people, but so much the British government, and especially the Royal House. When Princess or Queen Elizabeth died and all those things happened, we it's gonna sound ironic, but we actually celebrated it because, and it's a bit sadistic maybe, but because these people, this royal house, this royal family is part and parcel responsible for the mass destruction of my people in history. Anyway, so 1899, diamonds and gold was discovered. The British reckons, well, it's theirs, they want it. So they send in an army. For a good 1 year, they got their asses kicked by the Boers. And then they did what the British Empire does well. They chucked in a whole lot of money, a whole lot of soldiers, boots on the ground, and then eventually they got to take over the Orange Free State, the country of Orange Free State, and then Transvaal. But here's the thing, is that they could only do this by creating concentration camps. They could only do this by capturing innocent women and children, putting them into concentration camps, and then burning down the farm. Literally killing everything in sight, cats, dogs, livestock, because they reckon this is the lifeline for the farmers fighting against them. So interesting fact, when they conquered the Orange Free State and when they conquered the Transvaal, they actually conquered cities and capitals that were empty. The Boers actually removed themselves from these cities or their capitals, and when the British rode in, there was actually no resistance towards them taking over. So the war went on for another 2 years, okay, and that's where the guerrilla tactics started, and the Boers were exceptionally well at performing guerrilla tactics. So good that the British actually never won the Second World War. The farmers had to sign and negotiate because our women and children were busy dying in concentration camps of malnutrition, diseases. They were raped by the British soldiers. They were abused by the British Empire. And this all in the name of the British Empire. So why am I telling you this? In 2024, we are seeing exactly the same. Governments are wanting to literally put people into concentration camps. They are wanting to control them. They are wanting to make slaves out of them. So only the top elite will actually benefit from what is going on. So don't get me wrong, I don't hate British people. I just dislike we totally dislike the Royal House and whatever they stand for, because clearly in the olden days, yes, you conquered, but the British never really conquered South Africa. They really did not conquer South Africa. They used a tactic that was inhumane for any Christian country. And in 1994, they helped the current government to get to where they are today. So today we've got the Rainbow Nation, and guess what? The killing of white people is still a thing. It is still an agenda, it is still a tactic, it's still a strategy, because we have always only wanted freedom, our own piece of land, to live in peace, just to go about our lives. And it seems like the likes of the British Empire and them, they just don't want people to be free. And that is why the Rainbow Nation was created. Not that it is a Rainbow Nation, it's a myth. It's more like the elite nation, because they are the only people that benefit from the riches of South Africa. Even their own black people are miserable and poor and uneducated and live in shacks and in ruins. Some of them don't have toilets, they live on a pit toilet system. Some of them don't have water, they are unemployed, they are just, yeah, terrible situation. And this all because there are a few people that would like to have the benefits of having everything. South Africa is not a poor country, by no means. We have one of the strongest agricultural sectors in the world for the size of our country. We have mineral wealth. We have skills that we export. Elon Musk is a South African. We export our skills. Our skills are used all over the world. Highly educated white South Africans making a difference in other parts of the world. Not in South Africa, in other parts of the world. Making billions, making millions. If you want to know what's going to happen to you, look at the history of South Africa. And if you're a bit lazy, you can start at 1994 and check what's happening from 1994 in South Africa. And you'll see what they're busy doing to America is exactly the same. They've installed a puppet government in America that is just ruining that country. They've done exactly the same all over the world. In the UK, in Holland, in Germany, all over the show. Exactly the same type of government, exactly the same type of person. Anyway, this is South African Prepper. God bless.